Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What a week it's been. So on the news front today, we have Kia, Tesla, Zeekr, Deepal, Leapmotor, Hyundai, Ford and Xiaomi. So not as much as last week in terms of content, but nonetheless it is still a big week in terms of news and what's been happening. So guys, before we jump into the news, I want to take a moment to say thank you to my subscribers or to the people who are watching this video. 20 weeks is actually quite a while. We're approaching half a year now. 20 weeks worth of episodes. So keen to really hear your feedback, because at the end of the day, I do this for you guys, the viewers, and I want to make sure that we grow the channel and we grow this to something that's always useful and purposeful for you guys. I initially started this EV Weekly Wrap because I could not find one source of information that kind of collates everything together. Yes, you could build your own news source or news feeds that kind of aggregate and scrapes data from everywhere, but I just felt like it wasn't as interactive, and it was still hard to get my head around trying to understand what's relevant for Australia, what's not. So I've got a small tweak in today's episode that I'll take you guys through. But yeah, without further ado, those are the brands as you can see, and let's jump straight into it. Alright, so first one here, let's recap by the end of last week. So I did drop this video midweek. Last week, as part of South by Southwest Sydney, I actually had the opportunity to go check out the Zeekr 009, and my goodness, it is an absolute baller of a car. It's a boss car. It's luxury at the top tier. Yeah, I'm going to link the video here. Make sure you guys take a look if you haven't. Basically, it's from an airline side of things, first class, but I guess for the roads. So that's all I'm going to say. Take a look at the video. It's a raw experience, my full experience when I got to see the car. So I will leave it at that. But moving on, we've got more news from Zeekr. So this actually just happened yesterday or last night. So the Zeekr Mix was officially launched. Now I'm going to read to you guys the official statement from, I guess, the marketing team. So, the Zeekr Mix is a revolutionary family-friendly electric vehicle designed to be a living room on wheels. So it's built on the SEA-M architecture, or the C-M. It prioritizes space and versatility with a capsule-shaped exterior, swiveling front seats, and a highly adaptable interior layout. Some key features include long wheelbase, so it's a 3008mm or 3.008 meters in a compact body. Versatility inside the cabin, so as I said, 270 degrees rotating front seats, and a movable center console to enable various seating configurations, which you'll see in a moment. Accessibility, dual sliding doors and a low floor to ensure easy entry and exit, whether it's kids, adults, grandparents, you name it. You can see on this picture over here that does look fairly low to the floor. In terms of safety, hidden dual B-pillar design for enhanced structural integrity. In terms of an advanced technology, LiDAR cameras, radars supporting advanced driver assistance system, which is ADAS. And then also in terms of charging, 800 volt electric system allows rapid charging. LFP battery as an example, 10 to 80% in 10.5 minutes. That's crazy. That's really, really good. And long range. We've also got 2 battery options. So those are the initial pictures there of the Zeekr Mix, and I've got some more in the next slide. So look at that. Now I've also got some of the specs here. Now remember, this is based on the China model, or the model that's released in China. The prices are also just converted based on the yuan that you can see there, or Chinese dollars. It was converted to US dollars and then converted to Australian dollars. So those are all based off me doing the conversion today, which is Friday 25th of October 2024. So let's go through it. So 310 kilowatts, 440 newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 in 6.8 seconds. Now you've got 2 battery sizes. You've got a 76 kilowatt hour LFP or 102 kilowatt hour NMC. So the range between both is 550 to just over 700. I think it was about 702 kilometers. That's length, width and height for your comparison if you wish to choose so. One thing that I do like about height is it's not too high. So it's below 1.8 meters, which means that majority of car parks you would have no issues getting through at all. And 4.668 is actually quite a good length. It's not too big as well, so it doesn't get towards, I guess, that 5 meter mark, which is fantastic to hear. And yeah, so those are the prices there. Now, just as I said, remember, these are just direct conversions for the dollars. If this comes to Australia, which it hasn't been confirmed yet, It's obviously got to add different taxes and so forth, and this car also has to be built in right-hand drive as well. So yeah, that's really all I have to say. So there's not much more other information that I guess we can get at this point in time, but fingers crossed Zeekr bring this to Australia, because if you look at the doors, I think it's going to be amazing for us Australians. I think it, like, looking at pictures here, you know, it brings camping or glamping, whatever you want to call it, to another level. You know, you could have multi-tiered, you could set up like your own little restaurant here. It's yeah, someone like me who likes to see indoors, I'd probably go outdoors to a certain extent to enjoy my time, like what you see on screen. So yeah, fingers crossed we get it here. So that wraps it up for Zeekr, guys. Alright, moving on to the next piece of news. We have some news on the Kia EV9. So, unfortunately it has been recalled. So, what are the defects? So, what you see on screen is essentially the copy and paste of the official recall. So I will put that in a link to that in the description. But the long story short is this impacts all 2023 to 2024 Kia EV9s, the 602 that are impacted in total. Now the defects themselves, so due to a software issue, the integrated electronic brake system may not operate as intended, therefore higher braking force may be required when using remote smart parking assist key function, resulting in increased braking distance. What are the hazards? So a reduction in braking performance could increase the risk of an accident, resulting in injury to the vehicle occupants, pedestrians and other road users. And basically, what should consumers do? Well, contact their preferred Kia dealer to get a fix. So it's odd that it says here to schedule an appointment to have an IEB software update carried out free of charge. I would think that, you know, if you can do over-the-air updates, then maybe that would work. But either way, I'm sure they have their reasons. But yeah, so long story short, it's using the remote. It means that the braking force isn't as doesn't brake as hard as required, so therefore increasing distance. So basically, if you are using the remote, bear in mind that it may need some additional distance to actually come to a full stop. So don't just do it in tight spaces where you know you're really bound by the space where there is a chance or a risk that you could actually hit your vehicle. So that's that. Alright, let's move on. Leapmotor C10. So prices all confirmed. You have it here on the screen. What do you guys think? So obviously we need to add on-road costs, which is a couple of $1,000s on top of that. But basically the entry level, the style version, so this is the style and the design, you can get it under $50,000 drive away. 69.9 kilowatt hour LFP battery, 160 kilowatt rear drive only. And if you do get deliveries before 31st of March 2025, 1 year free charging via the ChargeVox network. Sounds like a pretty compelling deal for about $50,000 for a mid-sized SUV. I'm sure there's plenty of other competitors to come, but well done Leapmotor for having such a sharp entry price. What do you guys think? I think this may be the one that I did read from a entry-level side of things. The C10 doesn't actually have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall that correctly, this car does not have that. And I guess from some of the comments I've read for other cars, some people have said this is something that they really want in terms of having that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, before we move on, this was one of the changes I wanted to tell you guys, and let me know your feedback. So, you may recall, or you may have seen, in the previous slide and in this slide, I've got a little Australian flag here. And the reason why I want to do that is because I originally tried to put all the Australian news up front and then all of the overseas news on EVs at the back. Now I just figured I'd group them where it is logical, and then instead of trying to jumble them around, I figured I'd put a little Australian flag there. And what that means for you guys is, obviously, that impacts us in Australia. So as an example, the slide before, the Kia EV9, we had that there. This Leapmotor here is for us in Australia. We've got that here. And if we move on to the next slide, you've got the Ford Mustang Mach-E. This is also for Australia. So the news here for the Ford Mustang Mach-E, in April, Ford announced that there was already a tweaked rear electric motor, which not only produces more torque, but better driving range. Now we've got another update. So we've got standard heat pump, a revised cabin, and optional appearance packages in the US. So based on the Car Expert website and on the on the page for this article. They're saying here the updated MY25 Mustang Mach-E will arrive in Australia in the second half of 2025, and we look forward to confirming exact specs closer to launch. So that means that we potentially will get those specs or those new items as a part of the new ones when we get it next year. So what do you guys think of that change? Do you guys like it? I feel like it makes it just easier to understand what news applies to us here in Australia versus overseas. So if we don't see it here, it's most likely just overseas. So yeah, as I said, keen to hear your feedback. So let's keep moving on. Alright, Tesla Model Y. So now that photo there is a render, so don't quote me for what it looks like or what the final model might look like, but there's even more rumours now, and supposedly they're saying that the Shanghai Gigafactory has closed productions starting from roughly October 22. So it says down here, on October 19, a Chinese blogger shared that the new Tesla Model Y will start closed-loop production at the Shanghai Gigafactory on October 22nd, with a production volume of 12 vehicles per day, and that mobile phone access will be restricted. Very hush-hush. So that's literally all the news that we know. We don't know anything else except that. So my guess is, if that is true, it's coming very close. There's been a few other reports around that as well. So watch this space next week, or if there's anything that comes sooner, I'll make sure we get it shared on X and we'll include it as part of the weekly updates. But feel like it's coming soon. Alright, let's continue moving on. The next one is also still on Tesla. So this is some of the news that I found on X. So first one's first, if you look at this picture here, this is in Lost Hills, California. So you can see up here on the top left, Tesla has announced they have broken ground on what will be the largest supercharger in the world. 168 stalls. Unbelievable. We don't even have 20 stalls in Australia, let alone 50 or 100. This is 168. Now I know we don't have the demand to have 168 in one specific location, but just the sheer size, just thinking about it, that is absolutely amazing, and it's also absolutely huge. You look at that, that's literally like a couple of Bunnings warehouse sizes. But yeah, so it opens mid-2025, 1.5 megawatt grid service ahead of future expansion, 11 megawatts of ground mount solar and canopies on 30 acres of land. 10 Tesla Megapacks with 39 megawatt hours of storage, multiple pull-through stores for people towing, which you can see down here on the right hand side. And the other Tesla news was Tesla's Q3 earnings apparently was a banger, so it was really good. So some of the key highlights for Tesla as a brand. So Elon expects 20 to 30% vehicle growth in 2025. They're confident on reaching volume Cybercab production in 2026, aiming for 2 million vehicles per year with no ramp. Other key points: unsupervised FSD in 2025. Bring it to Australia, please. FSD version 13 will be released soon. Again, bring it to Australia, please. FSD will be safer than a human next year. Cybercab will be at $25,000 car, obviously US dollars, so probably about $40,000. Tesla expects to roll out their ride-hailing service in Texas and California next year, probably Texas first. Roadster is under development. Tesla says it won't be long until they're shipping 100 gigawatt hours of stationary storage, and it will grow to multiple terawatt hours per year. And the last summary point here, if Tesla is unable to reach unsupervised FSD with Hardware 3, they'll update it for free for existing owners. So hopefully that one will be worldwide. And yeah, because I know in Australia we've been waiting a long time for this. But yeah, that essentially wraps up all of the Tesla news. So let's keep moving on. So Deepal. The Deepal S05 or the Deepal S05. So recently we've had the Deepal S07. This new one, or the smaller one, has been unveiled. Now, pause the screen here if you guys want. I've essentially got all the variants there. There's 6 variants in total, and all of the specs are across there. But the gist of it, or the summary, is essentially 2 key things. So there is the EV version, as in pure battery EV, and then there is the extended range EV, or the EREV, which is the bottom 2 in this picture. Now, the difference between the EV and the extended range EV is there is actually a petrol extender for the car. So it helps extend the range. So think of it sort of like a hybrid, but but not. I haven't looked into the specifics on how it all works, but it's technically a EV first, and then the battery compressor on board helps extend the range of the actual EV or of the battery. So that's essentially how it works, and you can see there 7.3 seconds for the EV only, 7.9 for the extended range, and those are the CLTC, which is the Chinese testing cycle there, and these conversion prices are just direct conversions of the Chinese price. So as I said, bear in mind this is China only at the moment, which means that if and when this car comes to Australia, if it is confirmed, it could obviously be a different price, but that's, I guess, just a direct conversion, so you guys have a rough idea of how much it is in China. Now, some of the interesting information on this car. So you can see over here it mentions 4K. Now, I can't read Chinese, but what I've seen here based on some of the other articles is the car's 4K intelligent gimbal camera, which you can see at the top over here, has 64 gigs of storage space, can store about 21,000 photos or 12 hours of video. And then in terms of the headlight, so the 1.3 million pixels intelligent headlight can create a 120-inch screen projection effect with the help of the Huawei X Pixel. Imagine that. That's a portable projector cinema setup that you've got right there. Brings camping to the next level if you really want to enjoy it. All you need to do is bring in the sheet or the projection stand thing, whatever you call that, and yeah, project on. Imagine playing Mario Kart outside. That would be awesome. You can clearly tell I'm an introvert, but anyways, some of the other news I've got here, or some of the other details. The entire series is equipped with 5 HD cameras, 5mm wave radars, and 12 ultrasonic radars as standard to realize advanced driving assistance. So other things like that include adaptive cruise control, lane control, lane centering control, intelligent parking assistant. So that's all of the information we have there. I've also included the dimensions there, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. I feel like it's not such a big car, but it is pretty wide at 1.9 meters. And if I do remember right, this is pretty much almost as wide as the Model Y, but slightly shorter. So the Model Y is technically a little bit bigger than this car. But yeah, that's all the news for the Deepal. So let's move on to something that is extremely exciting. Hyundai's RN24. Look at that. So Hyundai has revealed its latest Rolling Lab prototype, which is a performance electric car borrowing tech from the Ioniq 5N, but with an Insta-sized package, or could be potentially i20N roughly. Now, it's called the RN24 because it is a Rolling Lab concept for the N brand and was developed in 2024. It's pretty much a bare EV and it looks like a remote control car, and it essentially is supposed to influence future production models. So what they say, the official, I guess, statement from Hyundai is the RN24 is a testament to our bold ambitions for the future. In terms of power outputs for this car, so it's basically the Ioniq 5N specs. So it's powered by the same dual motor, 84 kilowatt hour battery, up to 478 kilowatts of power, and 0 to 100 roughly 3.4 seconds. So what do you guys think? I'd hopefully love to see this car one day, whether it's in Australia or somewhere else. Hopefully maybe at World Time Attack Challenge in Australia, so who knows. So yeah, what do you guys think of the car? I think it looks absolutely wild. I think it looks amazing. We're obviously never going to see this on the road because it's inspiration for the future, but hopefully if that's the kind of styling, the wild styling and everything that they kind of use as a testament to build their future vehicles, then it really looks like a promising future for the brand. So I really look forward to seeing their cars in 2025 and onwards. So yeah, let's continue moving on. Xiaomi SU7 Ultra. So you guys may recall this screen is pretty much the same one as I've had before. It's pretty much a ultra hypercar, whatever you guys want to call it, from the Chinese brand Xiaomi, which I guess officially started as electronics, and now they've got a car, and then which is the SU7, and then now a supercar or an ultra car, hypercar, whatever you want to call it. 0 to 100 in 1.9 seconds. So yeah, so what's been released actually, or the new information, is the car is now available to pre-order in the Chinese market. In terms of price, it's roughly 112,000 US dollars. So direct conversion means $169,000. Again, there's no confirmation of the car coming here, but just for direct conversion purposes, so you guys can understand what the price is. Yeah, 169,000 Australian dollars for a car based on specs. It's pretty amazing at that price point. So yeah, hopefully they come soon in 2025, and we get to see some videos, and I get to give you guys more news on how it actually goes. But let's keep moving on. Alright, let's jump onto some social media updates. Only 2 key points this week. The first one here was Ford CEO Jim Farley. He actually had a Xiaomi SU7. So not the Ultra, but a Xiaomi SU7. So he quotes, "I've been driving it for 6 months now and I don't want to give it up." That's such a bold statement coming from a CEO. So kudos to him, for saying that and being quite open about that. Hopefully that helps Ford build, I guess, a better vehicle. Now, I haven't driven the Ford Mustang Mach-E, so I can't comment on that. Hopefully I'll get to do that sometime in the future. But for a CEO to say that, that means that they're really aware of how good another product is, and hopefully they kind of steer the company in building a much better product. But yeah, that's that one. And then the other one, right-hand drive Yangwang U8. Now, if you guys forgot Yangwang, they've got the supercar, and they've got this car here, which is essentially the big 4x4. It's a hybrid car from memory with almost like around 1,000 horsepower or 1,000 kilowatts, and it's the one that can do the crab crawl, and you can drive around or spin around in circles and whatnot. So it's a ultra luxury SUV. But yeah, right hand drive spotted because it's been left hand drive to date. So fingers crossed, that means that it's potentially going to come to Australia. So we shall see. We can only hope. Alright, let's jump on to the last slide. Sydney International EV Auto Show. So I've mentioned this before. It's coming up in just 2 weeks time. 8th, 9th and 10th of November. So keep those days free. Now, what I've got on the screen is essentially some of the vehicles that have been confirmed to be there. Some of them you may not recognize, some of them you may recognize, but some of them I'm really looking forward to seeing. So let's start from the top left and we'll move our way to the right. So Audi will have their Q4, Q6 and SQ6 e-tron. Deepal will have their new S07 SUV. You have the smart number 1 and the hashtag 1 and hashtag 3 car over there. Jumping to the middle, the Zeekr 009 that I just sat in last week is going to be there. And look at these two. It seems like Zeekr have pulled strings, or maybe they had it in the plans all along. The 007 and the 001 FR. It's coming here. Obviously it's not confirmed to be a production vehicle here, but I'm really excited to see these two cars because there's been raving reviews on both of these cars, and the 001 FR is, I guess, a car that's even faster than the Tesla Model S Plaid. So yeah, I don't have much to say, but I'm really looking forward to seeing those cars. The MG Cyberstar will be there as will the Chery Omoda E5. And then from the Xpeng side of things, you've got the G6, the G9, the X9 and the X2. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the X9, considering I really liked the Zeekr 009. Hopefully all of these cars will essentially be open to everyone being able to, I guess, sit in them and walk around and everything, because I'll be recording some of those videos for you guys. So guys, if there's anything you want to see in particular at the Sydney EV show and you guys can't make it or you're interstate, then let me know in the comments below, because I'll be more than happy to record some of this stuff. And yeah, so I'll most likely be there across the 3 days. So if you guys do see me, stop me for a chat, come say hi. I don't bite, and I'll be part of some of the panels as well to talk about some of the things that's on the agenda in the live sessions. So yeah, come say hi. Also, I've put down here, just as a reminder for myself to tell you guys, special discount. So there is a $10 off to get tickets for, I think it's $25. I'll put the link in the description below. You guys can get that. It's not an affiliate code or anything. It's a code that does give you guys a discount to get your tickets. And yeah, so we'll see you there. It is the first motor show that's going to be in Sydney. I think it was mentioned in the past 12 years since the last one, I think it was. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. It's going to be massive. And that brings us to the end of it. As always, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any feedback, as I've mentioned earlier, drop them in the comments box below. And yeah, stay tuned for more information, and we'll see you same place, same time next week. Take care. Actually, I'm not too sure if we're going to get a video out next week, considering I'll be at the EV, Sydney International EV show. So we may not have an episode next week. Watch this space. I'll keep you guys posted. But have a good weekend, and we'll see you soon.